This is a tutorial on how to complete the Bot Eater demo that is included with the Easy State asset. The first thing you want to do is click on the Easy State folder and then open the Demos folder. Double click on the Bot Eater package there. It's going to decompress. You're going to go ahead and import all of those files, and we're going to wait here for Unity to compile the new scripts. Once it's finished compiling, go ahead and select the Bot Eater folder, and we're going to go ahead and open the game scene. So as you can see, this game scene is totally awesome. Really, there's not much going on here. We need to design the behaviors that will drive the characters in this scene. So first, if you want to open up the Easy State editor, the first behavior we need to make is a locomotion behavior. We're going to tie this behavior to the animal context. It's going to be used for both the predator and prey. Go ahead and add 2 more nodes. We're going to name that first node idle, and we'll name the second node move. We need to make a transition from the entry state to a node. We'll make it to the idle state, and we're going to go ahead and set the decision false state to the move state. On the move, we're going to add an action, the move towards target action. We're going to go ahead and set the leaf state to true on both of these states. We're then going to choose the decision and set it to has reached target. That way, if it has reached the target, it'll just idle in place. If it hasn't, it'll move closer to the target until it reaches it. So that all looks good. I guess we'll just go ahead and save this behavior then. I'm going to create a new behavior and name this behavior Prey Scanner. This is going to be a really simple behavior. We're going to tie it to Prey context. It's just going to have the entry state and then one other state, a simple unconditional transition. We're going to name this state the scan state. We're then going to add a new action, just the scan for predators action. Set the leaf state to true, and that's it. I think everything looks good there, so we'll go ahead and save that behavior. Next, we're going to create another behavior. We're going to call this one Prey Target Updater. We're going to add the entry state, and then we'll add 2 state nodes here. The first state node is going to be called the runaway state. The second state is going to be called the wander state. So we're going to go to the runaway state if we can see a predator, then we need to run away. So let's make a transition from the entry state to the runaway state. We're going to go ahead and set the condition to can see predator, and then set the false state to the wander state. Because basically we want the prey to either be running away from the player, or we just want it to be wandering. So to achieve the wander behavior, we're going to add 2 more state nodes. I'm going to name one idle. We're going to name this new behavior, or this new state, get new point. We're going to make a transition from wander state to get new point. And then we're going to go ahead and set that condition. We need to actually change over to the animal context here. So that way we can use the condition has reached target to see if we're at the target. If we are at the target, we need to get a new point. If we're not, we need to just idle, because that way the target doesn't need to get updated. So we're going to go to the runaway state, of course, and switch back to prey context real quick, and then choose the runaway action there. So one last thing, we need to add a reset speed action to the wander state, because when the prey is running away, it will run faster than when it's just normally walking around. So every time it's normally walking around, we want to make sure that it's walking at a normal speed there. So look around. I think everything is good here. Let's go ahead and save the behavior. And that's it for the prey behavior. Now we just need to create 2 predator behaviors. So create a new behavior, and we'll call this one predator scanner. Predator scanner. I'm going to add a node. This one's going to be a little more complicated than the prey scanner. Want to demonstrate how to use multiple transitions out of a single state in this behavior. So we're going to name this state scan, and this one idle, and then the bottom one we're going to name update target state. Okay, so we're going to make a transition from the entry state all the way to the idle state, and we're going to set the condition. Well, we need to switch over to the player hunter context real quick. We're going to set the condition here to has found player. So if it has found player, we're going to idle. If it hasn't found the player, we're going to go ahead and scan. And then we're going to make another transition to update target state, and we're going to set the condition to can see player. So if we can see the player, we need to update the target. If we can't see the player, we just need to idle. So now we have these 2 transitions here, and we need to make decisions on who gets priority here. So basically, if we can see the player, we want that to be the most important. If we can't, then it's not really a big deal. So I'll probably just go ahead and change the false priority here to 4, because it's not a huge deal either way. So set that to 4. And then over here, if we have found the player, that's also not a big deal. We'll set it to 3. But if we haven't, we would like to scan. So we'll just set that to 2. That way, when you're looking at these transitions, it's going to first check if we can see the player. It will update the target state. If not, it'll go and try to scan. And if that doesn't work, it'll finally go to the idle state. Next, we need to set these states to leaf states and add the appropriate actions. For the scan state, obviously, scan for player. For the update target state, we're going to choose target player. And I think that's everything. That looks pretty good. Yeah, so let's save that behavior. And we're going to go ahead and make the last behavior a new behavior, and we're going to name it predator chase. Yeah, predator chase. We're going to add the entry state and a couple of states here. The top state we're going to name return state, and then we're going to name the bottom state chase state. So basically, we're going to make a transition from entry over there and choose that and set the condition to is board. And basically what we're doing here is, so if the predator is bored, it's going to stop chasing the player. If it isn't bored, it's going to continue to chase. And so in order to chase, we're going to make 2 more states here, and we're going to set the decision here to can see player. And we're going to set the false state down here to this idle state. So if we can see the player, we're going to need to update the target again. So we're going to add a new action here. We're going to choose target player, and this is going to update the target and put it on the player's last location. We're going to set that to leaf state and set that to leaf state as well. Lastly, on the return state, we need to switch over to the animal context and set the leaf state, and then add the action go to spawn point here. Yeah, that's right. So that way, so if the predator is bored, it's going to go home. If it's not bored, it's going to continue on and chase the player as long as it can see the player. So let's save that behavior. And that's the last behavior we need to save. So we can just go ahead and close this tab. Let's go over here to the scene view and entities. Select the player hunter. You can go ahead and collapse all this stuff. We don't need any of that. So under the machine tabs, we can go ahead and add these behaviors to that we just created. So that we're going to add the locomotion behavior, and then we're going to add a predator chase behavior. And then lastly, we're going to add the predator scanner behavior. We're going to open the context, and we'll set the speed to 7. We want it to be kind of slow. Perception radius, let's up this to, let's make it 20. And so the board timeout here is going to be 5. And that's all we need there. So you can close the context, apply all the changes, and then we'll select the prey game object. Same thing, we're going to add the locomotion behavior because it works for both. We're then going to add the prey scanner as well. And lastly, we'll add the prey target updater. And then on the context, we're going to set the, we're going to set the wander radius here to 20 as well. We'll set the fleeing speed to be 13, and then the normal speed we'll set to 10. And that's it. We'll close the context, apply all the changes, and then hit play. What happened? Let's see here. Okay. Oh, it looks like we got an error here. Let's stop and see what the error is. All right, so the console says behavior is invalid. Okay, click on it. It looks like the prey behavior is the one that's invalid. So we're going to need to open up the editor again and find the behavior that's given us trouble. So let's go to the window and open up the Easy State editor one more time. And let's just check out some prey behaviors and see if we can find the problem. So let's load the prey scanner. Let's check it out. Actually, it looks pretty good. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So it must be this one. So let's load the updater. And here we are. Yep, see status invalid right there. Okay, so we forgot to set it as a leaf state, and we forgot to set the action that need to be done here. So when we get new point, we need to pick a new random target. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to save this behavior, and it will, it's going to give us that dialog. Yes, we want to overwrite it. So behavior is updated. Great. So let's go ahead and clear the console, switch over to scene view, and press play. And yeah, everything looks to be working. There we go. So perfect. Yeah, you can just kind of fly around here and chase these little blue guys. Yeah, run into them and they explode. You got to stay away from those red guys. If you come too close, they'll start to chase you. Yeah, and you can fly around, just kind of glide around. There's a lot of different options here you can play around with. Right now, the if you look at the behavior we defined, the red guys chase you until they get bored or they can't see you. Then they'll stop, and once they're bored, they're going to return back to where they went. And if you look, all these behaviors are updating every single frame. There's custom. You can change the refresh rates. Maybe make them refresh not as fast. You can change the speed at which they run and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, so that's pretty much this game in a nutshell. You can just kind of fly around and have some fun. And of course, try not to die. But yeah, so this is just kind of a little quick tutorial on how to set that up. And it appears to be working great. So thanks for watching.